Free Phineas. Halel Hawa, Halel Hawa. Hey ya, Hawa, Hawa. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are blessed. Sorry I don't feel too great today. Energy's a little low. Been fasting and so I'm trying to do my best to get through this, and let's just get this work in. And let's get into it. Today I want to present some homework that's pretty much fresh out of Brother Hiram's classroom. A while back, he's always pushed me to again chronologize, and when you look back on it, a lot of people weren't chronologizing, and Brother Hiram's one of the first to actually try to put back our history together, by the numbers, by the nines, and in his classroom, he teaches, and you'll learn about treaties, the timelines, names, and titles. And recently, in the search for Prestor John, we come across a slight little snag in our research, just to show you how everything always comes together. And in that snag is the name of George. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to tackle the name of George. But first, before we tackle the name of George, I got to give you my homework for Brother Hiram, so that we can put the name of George in its proper place in perspective. Now, as you guys can probably see, I don't know if you can or not, but I had to actually separate this lesson into two different windows. And just in this window here alone, there's about 15 tabs we're going to go through. And I think I got another 10 or 12 or so. And much a hop to the Lady Dragons on the wall in the drop chat room. But as a matter of fact, make sure we show that hop to 432thedrop.com. And where we go live from 10 to 2. And we really have a good time. And I always say, you got to do your homework. So when it comes down to doing your homework, you got to have study hall. and that's a great time to come enjoy the family and have a great wonderful study hall. We're not going to stop. We are not going to stop. We're not going to get no snapback action. We know how to dodge and weave. All right, And real briefly, again, much of how you come here, click on it, go to TDR, and see what's going down. Don't forget the J Stew Baby Fund, as well as supporting the tribe and the growth of the nation across the plain. Let me get my water real quick. Hold on, y'all. Get my water, man. Alright, I got my water. Ooh. Alright, let's rock this wave here. Make sure you guys are checking everybody out, checking out the drops, showing your love. This is a real exciting time as we dodge the hijack, get the drop, and do a lot of dropping off. And if when somebody do some represent or ever present some drop, and you feel like that deserves a drop off, just let me know. Give me a this is Sparta, and we'll drop him off. You know what I'm saying? So let me kind of connect this to the Surf the Wave challenge, and that's digging on the TDR live again from 10 to 2. And really just enjoying that powwow that aha, man, and having a love for learning, and getting to know oneself, and and again answering that question, being in that search for indigenous truth, um, and meet everybody, meet Chef Candy, brother AD, brother Isaac, brother Manny, Teach Me to Be Priestly checked in, Miss D in the Copper Colored Awakening, Sister Larissa, all the DropNation across the plane, man. The amount of work that's gone, that it comes from that vibing up, choosing up, the amount of information and learning really increases at an exponential rate. And from that, I made the video, the lady Miriam and the lady Jerkan, right, of Levi. So, real quick, before I show you some specific aha to the ladies, lady dragons on the wall here for their scholarly work, let's address that word. All right, scholar. A scholar, Old English, scholare, student. So to be a scholar is to be a student. Now, it's from medieval Latin, scholaris, noun, use of late Latin, scholaris, of a school. From Latin schola, see school in the first noun. The Greek scholastes meant one who lives at ease. Okay? One who lives at ease. Y'all catch that? Okay? So, when you're just being a scholar, you're just trying to surf the wave, man. You're trying to be at ease. But let's dig on it, continue to dig on it. The medieval Latin word was rightly borrowed, Old French, escolar. French, escalier. Old High German, schoolari. German, Schule. The modern English word might be a Middle English reborrowing from French. Fowler points out that in British English it typically has been restricted to those who attend a school on a scholarship. Alright? Now, let's dig on it. School. In the first noun. Okay? It means place of instruction. You see, as we do our powwow, you surf the wave challenge. Yeah, we having a little school, man. It's a place of instruction. You learning about Hawa, the Most High, our Creator. You're learning about you and your history. And where else are you gonna get this information at? Because in the Library of Alexandria that we're building, man, we're building information that you're not getting in your public education, you're not getting in your private education, and you may hear a reference of it in your higher education. And as far as your occult education, it's the flip of a coin. You have a clue what the hell we're talking about. So when you've been surfing the wave, yeah, you may sound a little crazy. But let's dig on it, because I can test that we're just scholars. Okay, Old English school, from Latin schola. Intermission of work. Leisure for what? Learning. Okay? Learn conversation. Debate. Lecture. Meeting place for teachers and students. I mean, surf the wave, man. Isn't that what it's all about? That's all we're trying to do. Be in our own little alcove, right? Now check out. Place of instruction. Disciples of a teacher. The highest teacher is the Most Hawa, but we're also learning from who? The prophets, right? From the history books written in the scriptures, in the Tanakh, in the Septuagint. Okay, body of followers. Well, yeah, we're the children of the Most High. What's that? Yeah, we're just trying to have our own little be quiet. But But more indigenous proof you start getting out there and resonating with, and hijack, is never late. Let's see, from Greece, goal, spare time, leisure, rest, ease, idleness, that in which leisure is employed, learn, discussion. Also a place for lecture, schools. Now check this out. Originally a holding back, a keeping clear. School. Originally a holding back, a keeping clear. From sky to get. And now we got some pie. You want some pie? I want a slice of pie. From the slice of pie, it means to hold. Okay? Now, if you dig on it, in just dragonfly perspective, you got that imagery of the so-called lazy Negro. You know what I'm saying? Especially projected in the 30s and 40s, right? Gosh to hijack. But let's continue. But we're only talking about being a scholar, right? So we have the Proto-Indigenous root meaning to hold. And from these words, you get this pie of words. Now, I'm not going to go through it like I usually do, but notice you get Enoch in there. Enoch or Enoch, right? Then you got epoch. Hectic, we got Hector, so we found somebody, right? But you also get what? Schematic. Scheme, scholar, scholastic, school. Now, again, when it comes down to that pure water, that proto-indigenous, that proto-Indian, pre-Indian, pre-European, root, it means to hold. And the only word in here that gets a definition is what? School in the first noun, place of instruction. Okay? So, just dig on it. Now, why do I bring that up? Because I want to show some how to the ladies dragons on the wall in the chat room and the Surf the Wave challenge. Now, as I just recently mentioned, I did the drop on the Miriam, right? Now, all that drop came from the Surf the Wave challenge, and so just to kind of show some hob and show that love, that powwow, and that powwow in the right way. Let's give it up for our ladies, and let me be honorable. If Chef Candy can step up to the front of the classroom, if Ms. D in the Copper Color Awakening can step up into the front of the classroom, if Sister Larissa can step up to the front of the classroom, and of course, Sister Ty, could you please step up to the front of the classroom? Now, it's because of you four ladies' work I was able to make that drop. Now, in that drop, you was able to see the actual page that I was working on, right? Now, check this out. On that same page now, right? Can y'all see that okay? Same page, right? That we actually did the homework on Miriam. Now, check this out. Bam, y'all see that? Miriam, Lady Dracon of Levi, yo. Now, it's kind of funny because when I first noticed it, because I was, when I noticed it, I was going to make a part 2. And I saw this and it caught my attention. And again, take a bow, ladies, take a curtsy. Work at your scholarship. It is 100. And that's from the Surf the Wave challenge, yo. I mean, it's the 4th link in. You just type in Miriam and bam, our drop pops up, yo. So, just want to show that love, show that hob. Now, what we're going to do here is get it like it's the first time, because we are dealing with the whole point of today, which is the notations in time and history. Now, I hope you guys like this, and there's a lot of work I put into this, because I, as you will see, when it comes down to when it comes down to time, it's a lot to untangle. But just real briefly, if I can get this up here, I want to show you guys that this is in the number 8 font size. Okay, just to kind of give you guys a little preview, and we're gonna go through this. But I put this together for us, and maybe I can figure out a way to have that just posted up directly as a drop link with Brother King. But in any case, let's get into it. Let's get it like it's the first time. Parallel timelines in history. Let's bring it.
Chronology. Although people use it then to make comparisons, we have an obvious circular argument here. What you need to always bear in mind is how things get dated, particularly in ancient times. I mean, in modern times, we know to some extent how things get dated.
Now, this does concern the name of George.
Historian, okay, from say 300 AD or 500 AD, possibly even 1200 AD or later. First of all, it's not entirely clear that your intention in writing history is the same as the intention of a modern historian, namely to give a faithful chronicle of events.
Okay, let's get that back and hear what he said. Now, when we're talking about the search for Prestor John, and then we start digging into the 9 worthies, what he's saying, and I'll show you here in a second, also applies to the writers and the way things have been organized in the scriptures. But let's bring it back. Let's get it.
A modern historian, namely to give a faithful chronicle of events. We cannot take this for granted at all. As a matter of fact, it's a fair assumption that many ancient writings had a sort of moralistic purpose. They were much more in keeping with, like Roman histories was showing, the grandeur of certain figures, giving uplifting accounts. This is very, very important because the results that we're talking about are, in some cases, are going to look and seem so preposterous to you that you will be very tempted to just turn your mind off or turn your back to the whole thing. And what Ellen and I are above all trying to do is not make you throw out the data. You may discard Flamenco's interpretation of the data, you may discard the interpretations that we have of the data, but you shouldn't throw out the data. In my opinion, the data is incontrovertible. You see on the right-hand side, this is the
so
82 BC.
This is where he shows you the different duplicates, as it were, and you can check out a lot of the backsman we've already covered when it came down to these duplicates. Now we're gonna belly flop slightly forward here. All right.
Chronicles is what the intention of the chronicles was, or even what the people really understood by it.
I don't think anybody in any position really to make a hypothesis. You get a million ideas occurring to you when you really look into this. Many people that I talk to, they want to get a hypothesis, they want to go off and run with it, to the exclusion of everything else before they understand anything about really what's going on. And I think...
Oh, you mean like being a scholar, where we do our homework here, where we Templar up, where we're scholarly, right? All right. Okay, just double checking. Make sure we're all talking the same English.
People have no business making hypotheses about this until they really understand the extent and the depth and the weight of what he has done. I mean, any really nailed down hypothesis. Obviously, lots of crazy ideas are going to.
Oh, but we've done just that. We've nailed this down and broken the spell. And check this out. But we do homework and research, and we verify. But we're gonna use our dragon magic. So we use American science, right? That means Hawa. That means that not only do we understand in the search for indigenous truth, that if they can't tell us who we are, then they can't tell us whose we are. But that also applies as well that if they can't tell us when we are, then they can't, they can't tell us when we are, then they can't tell us when we're not. Now, so this again comes out from the work from Brother Hiram. This is Notation of Times in History, Chapter 2. All right, and you guys can dig on it. You can click on it. You can pause it. Now, just to kind of give you some structure here, some schematics scholarship, how this works. Okay, according to the treaty, as we go down here, I'm gonna take you down here to present day, closer to present day. Because what time is it really? All right. Okay. Thanks to Brother Hiram's work, you got this here. The Barbary Treaties, 1786, but in that document it states that it's also the year 1200, with a difference of time of being about 586 years. This is a key, a legend to unraveling the magic, as it were. Now, it's taken me a lot of work to kind of figure out here, well, how does this key apply? And the way it works here is this. I've gone through to get rid of all the duplicates. That means I had to go through a lot of backspins a couple of times, old notes, new notes, cross-reference and double check. And pretty much this is your timeline. So this is the real spiel. Okay. And now you can see all the illusions, disappear. Okay. And if you guys don't mind, do a fact check for me. I believe it was 562 years. He did 5-6 times in the Fountain of Youth. I just want to make sure my numbers are correctly 40, 11, 48 that I got over here. Okay. But dig on it. This is your history. Unravel. Okay. You can pause it. Read it. But we'll go through it. And again, point by point. Alright. Real quick, let's bring it back down. Now.
They hurt me all the time, and I try to follow them out as much as I can, but we are not making hypotheses here, because really we're not in a position to.
Remember the little pattern up here? Okay, where we have a little block of history here, and then we shift it back and so forth. Flamenco's opinion is the only legitimate history. Now, this doesn't mean that nothing happened before this. The only history that our documents address themselves to is from the period of 300 AD up to modern times. Is from the period of 300 AD up to modern times. Happened before this. The only history that our documents address themselves to is from the period of 300 AD up to modern times.
Okay.
Everything else is a projection of that material, that historical material, back in time, due to the errors that scholars make trying to synchronize relative blocks of history. Remember, there are three shifts. One's 333 years, one is 1,053 years, and the other one is 1,778 years. He has an account of each one of these and how these could have happened historically to produce those shifts. But his is what we might call one radical interpretation. Now, before you say this guy's out of his mind, what Flamenco does, given a pair of duplicates, what Flamenco does is says, well, can we establish astronomically which one is valid? So, take, for example, Thucydides's Peloponnesian Wars. There are three eclipses mentioned in the Peloponnesian Wars. They're described with great fullness. There's a lunar eclipse, an annular solar eclipse, and another lunar eclipse. You can infer what the path of totality was and a whole deal from these descriptions. The creators of modern chronology, namely Scaliger and Batavius, tried to astronomically solve the problem of those eclipses, were not able to do it without leaving out some of the data provided by Thucydides, who, by the way, says he was a personal witness of this. So what Flamenco did, he said, let's make no presuppositions about this. Where are the exact astronomical solutions for this triad of eclipses? And it turns out to be one in the 11th century AD and one in the 12th century AD for this triad of eclipses. And it turns out to be one in the 11th century AD for this triad of eclipses. And it turns out to be one in the 11th century AD for this triad of eclipses. And it turns out to be one in the 11th century AD and one in the 12th century AD and no others for this triad of eclipses. And it turns out to be one in the 11th century AD.
11th century AD
And one in the 12th century AD.
and 12th century and no others. Alright, got it. Now, let's go back. Bring up my notes. Okay. According to what I was able to put together and how they doing this, and with this treaty, with this drop from Brother Hiram, giving us the legend of time, as it were, this is it. This is your timeline, and pretty much, from what I can see and put together, they're absolutely right about it. And what you'll notice here is that the serpent of time is wrapping himself up around time itself. You know, that Satan, the cube, right? Now, here it is, and we'll get into this, but you're looking at, and I don't even go that far, but 1301 to about 1567, right? On one side, basing the history upon this here, 1786, right? And then you have on the other side the 1200s, right? Because these 2 years are equivalent. Let's go back up to the top. Or you have what? The year 981. Remember what he just said. And I got dropped going back to the way I was able to put together the timeline, but I'm able to go back to about 107, 715. Okay, now dig on it. Notice what happens here. 1567, which is the same as 981. King James takes the throne as King of Scotland, as James the fourth. Right? Now, 1603, which is the same as 1017. King James takes the throne as King of England in Ireland. And in Ireland, he's known as he's King James the First. 1604, which is also 1018. King James version begins. 1607, and you can, and I have it all written down here. You can, and again, dig it on for yourself. I just wanted to share with you guys what I put together here for you, and hopefully it'll be able to help in your search and your studies. But yeah, man, let's see here. In 1665, it's the same year as 1089, in which David gets the throne at 16 and establishes the Davidic bloodline. Okay, the First Crusade begins in 1681, which is the same as 1095. And the arrows here that I have here between the dates lets you know that which direction it's being calculated from. So when you see on here, the arrow pointing to, like this here, that means that it was calculated from the 1200 and then translated to what is that current time frame on the other side, and then vice versa. You have it here going the other way of 1685. So if you notice here, check out, in a year where you have both 1099, which should be the year 1685, you have what? The First Crusade ends, David should be 24. And then at that same time, the same year, guess what else happens? King James II of England and he's also King James VII of Scotland, takes the throne. See how that works? And but in any case, let's continue. Not here. All right, so start my show and series called Templar Up, and there's a lot of reasons for it. What I would suggest is getting to a lot of the drop Brother King did with Forbidden Histories, Prestor down, of course, because you start learning about Solomon and the Swan Knights and all that other good stuff with the pigs, right? So let's dig on it, because believe it or not, our little hiccup with the name George really kind of falls into this here, as it were. So we're gonna get the drop and drop off the hijack here in quick fashion. So we have the Knights Templars, right? Let's make sure I got my camera. There we go. All right. So we have the Knights Templars, the poor fellow soldiers of Christ in the Temple of Solomon. Okay. Now, also known as the Order of Solomon's Temple, the Knights Templars, or simply as Templars, were a Catholic military order recognized in 1139 by Papal Bull Omni Datum Actimum of the Holy See. The order was founded in 1119 and active from about 1129 to 1312. Did you catch and dodge the hijack? Okay. Now check it. Let's take it back. So the Templars, it says, were a Catholic military order recognized in 1139 by Papal Bull of the Holy See. The order was founded in 1119 and active from about 1129 to 1312. So what's the real drop? Well, you have to unscramble the sentence. What really happened was this: the Templars, which was founded in 1119, was a military order, and recognized by the Pope to be a Catholic military order in 1139. Okay, so it was in the year 1139 that the Templars got hijacked, and they got hijacked by Papal Bull, Papal Decree. Why? Well, we're gonna dig on it and dodge all the hijack and watch this. Check out. Dig on it. Let's dig on it. So we're gonna scroll down. Now look, active 1119, right? Let's go to the history. First sentence. You don't have to go far. First sentence. The rise. After Europeans in the First Crusade recovered Jerusalem in 1099, many Christians were made pilgrimages to the various sacred sites in the Holy Land. Stop. Where have we heard this story before? About pilgrims making a pilgrimage in a holy land, and they were Christians from Europe. You've heard this story before, right? Okay, well, let's bring out the notes. 1099, right? This is your real history in time. And we just searching for Prestor John. What happened? 1099, which is also 1685. 1681, 1095 was the First Crusade begins. It was at the end of the Second Crusades. The First Crusade ended in 1099. David is 24. Okay? Now check out. 1099. Now at the same time, you got this King James II of England, right? And he's the King James VII of Scotland. He takes the throne at the same time. Okay? Now watch this. Now, when it comes down to, where is it at? Now let's take a look back at the dates. David gets the throne at the age of 16 in 1089. Now, 10 years, what is this, 5 years later? I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. 95 for me, 89. 6, excuse me. 6 years later, the crusade begins. Okay? And then 4 years after that, the crusade ends. Now check out. Let's keep going. Now, a decade after the crusade ends, look what happens. We come to what? 1119. And what happens? The Templars are created. And David is what? 46. You see that? Now, translated in time, what part of the time frame are you in? Well, the translated time is 1705. The letter of 1122, the letter of Prestor John was received by the Pope. David is 49, right? Now remember, let's go back. Let's go back up. Let's catch the hijack. They were what? Founded in 1119. But according to this, you're telling me they weren't active for 10 years? It was founded in 1119, but they weren't active for 10 years until 1129, and it was another 10 years after that before they even got recognized by papal decree. You see how that hijack worked? But let's go back and see what's really going down. Okay? So, here it is. Now remember, the letter of Prestor John came in 1122. Now what happens? 1147, right? Second crusade begins. David 74. So, keep digging on it. Let's keep digging on it. Let's keep going. I think we're doing pretty good here. I might make this 2 episodes. I don't know, 2 chapters. Let's see here. So, it's catching all the bullshit, dealing with these nice Templars. But again, let's keep digging on it, because we got to correct our timeline. And you got to see what year it is when it comes down to your history. Because if we don't, and this is just my personal perception of things. One of the things that we know from the Decalogue Stone is that when they do the translation from the Picto-Paleo-Hebrew, it says, honor thy mother and father above. Remember thy father and mother above. And I was sitting here thinking about it. It really only takes a generation or two for us to fully just fall asleep to our history and our past. So when you talk about waking up out of your stupor, and you know what you thought was a long time ago was really recent, yo. Very recent. Okay? Now, let's dig on it. First Crusade. The First Crusade, 1095 to 1099, was the first of a number of crusades that attempted to capture the Holy Land, called for by Pope Urban II, right? Okay, at the Council of Claremont in 1095. Now let's go back. After Europeans in the First Crusade not recovered Jerusalem, it was after Europeans in the First Crusade discovered Jerusalem. Okay? It's when they first discovered Jerusalem and began making pilgrimages. Well, what's your pilgrimage? Well, your pilgrimage is your crusade. Okay? To take the what? Holy Land. Remember, there's good Templars and bad Templars. Remember, you're dealing with two different types of timelines in 1099. Let's get it like it's the first time, and I don't mean to misdirect because I want to continue on, but you know, you got medieval versus the Dark Ages. Now let's get into George. George, right?
Wow.
Wow. Okay. George. George, masculine personal name from French Jorgeus, or Georges, or Jorge, or however. Late Latin Georgius, from Greek Georgios, husbandman, farmer. Properly an adjective. Tilling the ground, from ge, earth, see Gaia, and ergon, meaning work, from the pi, werg, star, W-E-R-G hyphen, meaning to do. So that's the drop indigenous, right? Now check this out. In the name introduced in England by the Crusaders, a vision of St. George, here's that George, right? A vision of St. George played a key role in the First Crusades, but not common until after the Hanoverian succession, and they talking about the 18th century. Okay? Well, wait a minute. Go back and check my notes. 18th century, 1700s, First Crusades. We ain't too far off, right? 1681. We're not too far off, huh? But check this out. Now, St. George began to be recognized as a patron of England in the time of Edward III, perhaps because of his association with what? The Order of the Garter. Body bag for the illusion, right? That's the Order of the Black Rose, right? Free Phineas. Let's go back to my war drums, man. Free Phineas. Just doing a little chronologizing. That's all. Because I did my homework like Brother Hiram told me to. And, look, actually did the etymology on these names and titles. So, how does the hijack makes everything confused? Well, there's a difference between the King George and the Saint George. And this is how they confuse you. Okay? But in the search for indigenous truth, we're looking for what? The priest king. So we have to look at things from the George the priest on the priestly side, and then let's look at George from the kingly side. And let's dig on it. Okay? Now, George. Now, you got the hijack, which is St. George, right? From Kings of England. The Scott, what was the Scott? The Declaration of Arbroath, right? Of Arbroath. Now here it is. You got King George II of Georgia, right? Second king. Okay, he was the king of Georgia from 1072 to 1089. Okay, he was the son of the successor. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Okay. George was forced to abdicate in favor of his energetic son, David IV, to whom he remained a nominal co-ruler until his death in 1112. He also held the high Byzantine titles of Koropalates 1060 and Caesar in 1081. Now, when you dig on it, this George II sounds a lot like Saul. Okay? So, I want you to dig on that. But again, let's keep it moving. Right? Let's look at David. I don't know, I'm running out of time, so I'm trying to hurry up, y'all. David IV. Who was that? King of Kings of Georgia. Right? It was from 1089 until his death in 1125. Right? Now, when we dig on it, let's go back. What was it? 1089 until his death. He was born in the southern. Yep, 1089. Let's bring back up the notes. Around the 1080s, right? There he is. Alright. 1089. David gets the throne at 16 and establishes the Davidic bloodline. Well, what year is that? 1675. Let's see how that connects. Okay. There was something else I wanted to grab real quick off of this. Now, think about, I know what it was. This confusion about Georges. So here's another George here for you, right? George of, I can't pronounce this. Now, again, let's go back to the etymology. It means earth, tilling the ground, or earth work. Going to the pie of word. Let's jump over the word real quick, so we can have a better understanding of George. The words you get out of here, you get the only thing that comes up with the definition is erg, the noun unit of energy, frequency, and vibration, right? Off spell barrier, alright? Look, you get the demiurge, alright? The demerge, you get organ, surgeon, orgy, organize, organism, work, right? Organic metallurgy, see? There's that, soft magic, right? The hijack, okay, handiwork, okay. Now, the earth work. Now, this is George, and I can't pronounce that. Now, he died in 1118. Now, check out. This Georgian churchman was the court minister best known as a tutor and the closest advisor to King David, now, of Georgia. Now, this guy lines up with who? Saul. Not Saul, but Samuel. Check out.